In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
The number one national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Alrighty, let's keep on doing this. We're talking about guns. Well, in fact, we're talking about almost anything that has to do with guns and shooting and safety and responsibility and self-defense, as long as we keep safety and responsibility firmly in mind. Following up on conversation last hour, we're talking about lever-action rifle and .357 Magnum. I said, well, what if you put a suppressor on it? Wouldn't that be cool? And somebody sends me well, first I get two notes. One that says, now you've jumped the shark. That's just wrong. I said, yeah, I know. It's just wrong, but it's also just right. And then somebody sends me a picture and says, did you know the President Teddy Roosevelt had a suppressor, a silencer, on his 30-30 rifle? That's it, Winchester Model 94. He's got a picture of it right here. That's so he wouldn't disturb his neighbors at Sagamore Hill, Long Island, New York. I did not know that. Teddy Roosevelt has a lever-action rifle with a suppressor on it. That is so cool. Very cool. Yeah, always learning stuff out there. You know, we in the gun world kind of pay attention to Illinois for a lot of reasons. Of course, it's where we got the McDonald case. Chicago being the great gun control mecca. It's working so well there. But there's something going on there in politics that is fascinating and interesting and is gun related. And I wanted to get in on this. A friend of mine sends me a note and says, you know, you really need to have Jim Marter on your show. I said, okay, talk to me. So he did. I said, okay, let's do that. So we're joined right now by Jim Marter. He is running for the U.S. Senate in Illinois. He's a Republican candidate. Jim, welcome to Gun Talk.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So, okay, first of all, Illinois is, shall we say, weird politically, so we need to explain. You do have a Republican senator now, but not a pro-gun senator. What's that about?
Yeah, well, he seems to have a Republican tag on his name, but it's curious that, one of the votes that he took, which would have banned 5 to 10 million, commonly used rifles for home self-defense, is Senator Marter. He believes that apparently that guns are only for shooting and for sporting, and he doesn't understand that we have a Second Amendment and it's our constitutional right to keep and bear arms. It's unequivocal, and I don't know what part of shall not be infringed he doesn't get.
It's fairly rare, as in I can't actually remember a time when it happened, when a Republican senator gets an F grade from the NRA. That's pretty bizarre, but that's who you're running against.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background? How'd you get into this? Why in the world do you want to do this?
So I am a small business owner. I own my own software consulting business. I've been doing that for the last 13 years. I'm in the middle or maybe the end of a 30-year career in that same field. I've been raised in my family with my wife of 30 years. I was a scoutmaster still a registered scoutmaster for 17 years. Taking our scouts to the summer camp in Wisconsin. They always loved the gun range up there. So I've been doing all that, and then more recently, decided my kids are grown, they're out of the house, and I wanted to make sure that somebody in the state of Illinois stood up and said, look, we have a senator who does not represent the Illinois values for Illinois voters, especially on the Second Amendment, but on a whole host of other things. And I've recently become a Kendall County Republican precinct committeeman in Oswego, Illinois. and decided, no one was doing it. Now, I have a great Republican state rep. His name's Keith Wheeler. My congressman is Randy Holtgren, and my state senator is Jim Oberweis. So those three guys are guys that, someone like me would not be running against in a primary here. But when you look up the ladder, you see nobody was out there willing to step up and take on a Republican who doesn't seem to know what the Republican Party stands for, votes with Dick Durbin pretty much every time when it gets to the final vote. So, that's why I got in, wanted to make sure that we had a choice on the ballot. I worked hard last fall. We obtained 9,000 signatures. We needed 5,000 to be on the ballot, well over 9,000 signatures. 162 people around the state jumped on board, volunteered, helped me get those signatures, representing 72 of the 102 counties. So that's kind of how we did it. It's why we did it. It's time for a choice. We don't need Senator Kirk. We don't need somebody who might be swapped out for him. That didn't choose to go out there and get those signatures.
And let me jump in there because people need to understand in Illinois, you got a lot of conservatives, you got a ton of gun owners and hunters and shooters and people who believe in self-defense. People think of Chicago as being Illinois, but it's just that big population base up north, but the rest of the state is, it's basically it's Midwest.
Absolutely. And, it's an issue that is central to what I call Illinois values because people on both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, are tired of Washington, D.C. politicians trying to take away our gun rights and trying to register us and trying to, do anything they can to increase the cost and ownership of gun and take away that right from us.
We're talking with James Marter. He's running for the U.S. Senate from Illinois. The website, by the way, is Marter for Senate, and that's the number 4, not marter4senate.us. Jim, this is an interesting situation because I'm looking at Illinois. And in Illinois, to own a gun, you have to have what they call a FOID card, Firearms Owner Identification. And there are about 1.5 million people in the state of Illinois who have FOID cards. It only takes about a third of those to vote for you, and you win, right?
Absolutely. If I can get the support of all those FOID card owners in the Republican primary on March 15th, that's a path to victory. And I have been traveling the state. I'm the only candidate. There's 3 Democratic challengers on that side. There's myself and Mark Kirk. I've been out traveling the entire state. I've been to well over 100 events, probably a lot more than that. I would be willing to bet that you could add up all the appearances all 4 of those other people I just mentioned have made in this campaign, and I bet you you can add all theirs up, and I've been well around the state better than any of them.
Well, this is a case where gun owners can make all the difference because there's such a huge difference between the candidates. I'm going to give out the website again because it's important. It's Marter, M-A-R-T-E-R, and the number 4, Senate.us, marterforsenate.us. And you don't have to be in Illinois to believe in this. You can say, okay, we can make a change here because the Senate, hey, you know what, Jim? The Senate is the body that confirms Supreme Court justices. That's kind of a big deal in the news right now.
That is a big deal, and our sitting Illinois senator, again, he's one who we can't trust how he's going to vote on Supreme Court nominees. He was the lone Republican that broke rank with the Republicans on the nomination of the U.S. Surgeon General nominee, who was just totally unqualified and off base there. His other nominations, he supported all of the Obama nominations to the Supreme Court. We need someone who understands that the Constitution is first and foremost, and justice like Scalia is the model for what we should be looking for on the Republican side of the aisle. And Mark Kirk just doesn't get that.
There you go. It's Jim Marter, James Marter, at the website again, marterforsenate.us. I wish you luck in that election. That primary is coming up on the 14th.
It's on March 15th, yes, sir, and
March
early
15th.
voting's already started.
All right, March 15th. If you are in Illinois, get involved. If you know somebody in Illinois, call them, text them, send them an email. This is a chance for gun owners to make a difference, a positive difference. Thank you, Jim. I wish you luck with that. Appreciate it. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in here, 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.
field or on the range, you need a trigger you can trust. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. A Timney trigger could mean the difference between a great shot and a miss. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. To order, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
No matter what gun you have, you want it to hit harder, shoot faster and flatter, and be more accurate. You get all that with the ammunition from Double Tap. Double Tap's experts select the best bullets, then load them to higher velocities while keeping safe pressures. Shoot small groups. Shoot farther. Use custom hunting loads in your handgun or rifle. Even fire 2 projectiles with one shot. DoubleTapAmmo.com. That's DoubleTapAmmo.com.
You may be a new shooter, a longtime gun owner, or even a police officer or soldier. No personal defense handgun is fully equipped without a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge. Crimson Trace.
All righty, we're back with you. Let's see. Line 2, Dan's with us out of Front Royal, Virginia. Dan, what you been doing? You been taking kids shooting?
Yes, I have. You were talking earlier about the difficulty with teaching shooting in the schools. I've had some pretty good luck. I've concentrated on
Oh, no, Dan went away. I'll tell you what, we've got his number. Call him back. I'm going to talk to Tom up in Modesto on 3. We'll see if we can get Dan back in here. Hey, Tom, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fairly well. I went out to the range for the first time in about 10 years with one of my rifles, well, actually 2, and I noticed having what I thought was a very secure grip of the gun and pulling it hard into me. I noticed in the reticle that the rifle was moving back and forth to the left and right rapidly. And no matter what I seemed to do, I just couldn't get rid of it. I'm a bit stymied because I was trained by not only the Air Force, but the Army and Marine Corps in my Air Force service in marksmanship. And this just... I'm baffled. I'm absolutely baffled. What am I doing wrong here?
Okay, let's start off with exactly what's going on. Are you shooting from a bench or are you shooting standing up?
Shooting from a bench. Have a bipod up. I'm sorry I didn't mention that. I'm using my my support hand to grasp the butt of the stock to stabilize it and elevate it to the necessary elevation, for my target.
Okay. Do you have a sandbag or anything? Do you have a sandbag or anything under the butt, or are you just using your hand?
No, just using my hand.
Okay.
But,
it would really make a big difference. It would probably help if you could put a sandbag or even a sock full of sand or something like that under that. But let's go with that, what we have right now. Question for you. Do you think the rifle is moving, or do you think the rifle is steady and it just looks like the crosshairs are moving? Because those could be two different things.
I actually think the rifle's moving. I did this with 2 different rifles, one an M1A that was equipped with an excellent scope and also AR-15 and 6.8 SPC that was equipped with a U.S. Optics LR-17 with the H-59 reticle, the Horus reticle. I think it's me. I'm doing something wrong.
Right. What's the range and what's the magnification you're using in the scope?
100 yards, and I was using various magnifications. I think I was up to 17 power on the U.S. Optics, and I'm not sure about the Night Force scope what precisely I was at, but I think it was fairly well magnified.
Right. Okay. Here's what I think is going on. I think basically it is essentially impossible for you or me or most people. There may be some that can do it. Most people cannot hold that rifle perfectly still with that kind of wobbly rest. You've got a bipod, which is not a solid rest. We think it is, but it's not. And you got nothing on the back other than our pulsing protoplasm of your hand trying to hold the back end of that. And now you put your cheek on there. So that was interesting. So everything is moving. Here's what I need you to do. We're going to figure out what's going on. You need to take the bipod off the rifle, get a good sandbag in the front, get a good sandbag on the back, squish the rifle down front and back so that it is pointing right at the bullseye with you not touching the gun. Then you sneak up on the rifle and kind of nestle your shoulder into the butt of it and gently place your cheek on the cheek piece, on the comb of the stock, and gently, as much as you can, hold on to the rifle so that you're not disturbing it. And then with your offhand, if you're shooting right hand, for instance, your left hand would go underneath the butt of the rifle and grab that sandbag and kind of squish it, and you could squeeze it together to raise it, or you could, just basically moving it very imperceptibly. There should be no movement whatsoever in the reticle. Now, if you get it all locked in like that, and if you move your head left and right and the reticle moves, it means you have a parallax issue. That is certainly a possibility of one thing that could be going on here. And if you have a scope that's adjustable for parallax, you adjust that, because if you've got the rifle completely locked in, but the parallax is off on a rifle, when you move your eye left and right behind the scope, the reticle will actually move left and right on the target. How could we possibly be accurate if the reticle moves on the target when the rifle doesn't move? That's why they make parallax adjustment for scopes. So you got to try this off of sandbags. There's really no other way to know what's going on with your rifle. You can't shoot it offhand. You can't shoot it, with part of you propping the gun up. It has to be held by sandbags, a shooting rest with sandbags, whatever. But you basically got to take the human element out of it, because humans are, we're just shaky. Just the way it is. We're just shaky. All right, let's go to line one. Terry's with us out of Cortez, Colorado. Hey, Terry.
It's Terry, and Cortez, Colorado.
Okay. So what's on your mind?
Okay, you were talking about deer hunting with that Henry 357, and I don't know about Missouri, where that fellow was from, but here in Colorado, it's not legal.
Because of a muzzle energy requirement?
Exactly. There's 1,000 pounds at 100 yards, and the 357 won't do it.
At 100 yards, yeah, you're right. Some states have that. It's kind of antiquated, especially in light of some of the loads and bullets we have now. But, it's a great point. I didn't think of that. Yeah, that's right. You're right. The Hornady Lever Revolution ammo really changes that on some of these loads. But it's a good point. I appreciate you pointing that out. You need to check your local regs to find out if what you're thinking about doing is actually legal. Some states have regulations about muzzle energy and what you could use for deer or elk or whatever. So worth checking. Hey, I appreciate that. That's good heads up on that. Line two, Nathan is in Alaska. Hey, Nathan.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
Hey, Tom, I was wanting to get your thoughts on a pistol. I'm looking to buy. It'll be my first time to buy a pistol, and it's a Beretta PX4.
Have you had a chance to handle one or shoot one?
I haven't got a chance to shoot it. I've been to the shop to look at it, and it feels really good when I'm holding it, and it's got a lot of features that I like. But I just wanted to see what your thoughts on that particular pistol were.
It's a very nice pistol. They shoot nice. They're kind of space-agey looking. I would suggest, however, that you go, at the very least, I think you need to get your hands on one because it's different. You've seen pictures of it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The thumb safety on it is placed really high. It's not where I would normally have my thumb resting. It's not where I would normally think to have my thumb to sweep it off when I draw a pistol and flip that thumb safety off. It would take a real adjustment, I think, to accommodate that. And so I would advise you, before you plunk some money down or commit to that, you get your hands on one, try it. If you can do it in the store, kind of at a safe place, almost like you're drawing. You don't have to have it in holster, but come up and see if you can knock that safety off quickly. And then how's that going to affect your grip? Where's the thumb going to be when you take the safety off? Just something that I would consider just about the design of that. So, and of course, look, this is not picking on the Beretta. I say the same thing about every pistol. If you're thinking about buying one, you need to get at the very least, you need to get your hands on it. The best would be, of course, preferably, you would be able to shoot it. But a lot of times you can't find a place to shoot it. You can't rent one. But you should be able to get your hands on one. Go to a gun store, go to several gun stores, find one. And look, do this, please. If you go to a gun store and you take advantage of the fact that they have it in inventory and you ask them questions and you get your hands on it, don't go down the street or don't go online and buy it cheaper and save $20 or $30 after you've used this other store. Don't be that guy. That's just wrong. You're taking advantage of other people there. You know, they provided you a service. There's a value in that. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. What's on your mind?
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All righty, phones are open. Ready for you to call. 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in here as well. Looking for your range reports? It doesn't have to be a new gun. Maybe it's just a favorite gun that you like. We'll certainly do that. Oh, we picked up Dan. We got him back on after he got cut off by the Gremlins, back on line 3 out of Front Royal, Virginia. Hey, Dan, you were starting to tell us about teaching kids shooting in school.
Mm-hmm, that's right. Yeah, I've had great success with private schools. Public schools don't want to have anything to do with a shooting program, but private schools are very open to it. We set up shooting clubs at 2 schools already, and I'm in the process of setting up a third one.
Interesting.
And as far as a place to shoot, air guns work great inside a school. We used an auditorium, put together a portable range that we could assemble on the spot, and that's where we did our shooting.
Okay, so how do you go about the initial contact with the school?
I just called the headmaster.
Yeah?
I asked him if he was interested in a shooting program.
And, I mean, do they? Then I'm sure they want to know, okay, well, so what are you talking about? What's your background? What are your credentials, et cetera?
Well, as far as credentials are concerned, I've gotten training from the NRA. And, as a matter of fact, the NRA is very helpful in setting up a program like that.
You know, this is the old throw a pebble in the lake and watch the ripples go out. When you set up a shooting program at a school, you're affecting a lot of kids who are going to go forward. And each year you have more and more kids going out with a positive experience with shooting and with
probably
guns.
taught 300 or 400 kids to shoot.
That is fabulous. I had not given that a thought. The private schools are a great way to go. And obviously there are a lot of good programs out there. 4-H has a good program. The Boy Scouts has good programs. But I love this because this is local.
Yeah, and the other thing is homeschoolers. We've got a homeschooler network here, and I've set up a program with them. Now, we had a problem with finding a place to shoot, but the local Isaac Walton League came through. They don't have any objection to a program for kids that's nonprofit.
Huh. Well, and it's a good point. Local homeschoolers now are connected. There is a homeschool group wherever you are, where I know locally they have, like on Fridays, they all get together and they have someone who teaches science and math and someone else who teaches history, so that they're making sure they're getting that. So, and they have, like on Thursdays, they have an activity day. So you might be able to plug into the activity day. So a homeschool network is a great way to go too. I like that.
Yep. And it just keeps growing.
Super. Dad, that's a great idea. Thank you so much. Thanks for your perseverance in hanging with us through our technical issues, and a huge gun talk attaboy for you. Way to go, Dan. All right, let's see. Bill, line 4, Corpus Christi, Texas. Hey, Bill.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. What's your favorite rifle?
My favorite rifle is a Winchester Model 70 in 270 caliber.
Right.
And I've heard for years that a pre-1964 is a better rifle than a post-1964. I do own a post-1964, and I was thinking about getting another one in a pre-1964, but I wanted to know what was the difference.
Okay, it's a great area for us to talk about. Yes, the pre-1964s were better than the post-1964s for only a few years, and that's the important part. In 1964, Winchester brought in a bunch of whiz kids, and I'm not making this up. What they had worked on before, wait for it, were washing machines. Not kidding you. And so they came in and said, well, we can make these rifles cheaper. Yeah, and they sure as heck did. They made them cheaper, by golly. They made them awful is what they did. The wood metal fit was awful. Everything about them was awful. And so pre-64, everybody said, well, I want one of the old ones. And that was great through the latter part of the 60s and through the 70s. But that's also a half a century ago now or so. So the rifles that Winchester's making today are the best rifles I think that Winchester's ever made. I would not hesitate for an instant to get one of the modern Winchester Model 70 rifles. And if you want a pre-64, they're great. They're fine. They're might even be collectible if you want them for that. But if you just want a good rifle, there's nothing wrong with the modern ones, and they're not going to cost you as much as a pre-64.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's my go-to rifle when I go hunting. That Model 70, I'll grab that faster than I will any other gun.
Pretty hard to beat a Model 70 and 270, man. You're channeling Jack O'Connor when you take that afield.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the call, Bill. And that's my take on it. That pre-64 was a big deal when they made them cheaper in the latter part of the 60s and maybe the early 70s. But I don't think that has been much of a factor, honestly, for the last 20 years. Just my take on it. Let's see here. Let me look at my clock here. Okay, we'll take a quick break here. Tim, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you. Miles, we're going to get to you. And we also have room for anybody else if you'd like to join us. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Hi, this is Joe. I bought a silencer from Silencer Shop, and it was a pretty amazing experience. I simply went to silencershop.com, followed the instructions, purchased my silencer, and they took care of the rest. My local firearm dealer called me when my silencer arrived. Did you know a silencer is an important accessory that offers an added hearing protection and greater shooting accuracy? It's great for hunters and those who want to enjoy more social interaction during shooting sports. Visit silencershop.com to find a silencer for your firearm.
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns in 1. Use as your concealed carry gun with a compact magazine and use the extended magazine for home defense. Carry 13 rounds of 9mm in the compact magazine and a whopping 19 rounds in the extended magazine. To see the entire family of Springfield Armory XDM pistols, go to SpringfieldArmory.com. That's SpringfieldArmory.com.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have Gun Dealio, the free app for your smartphone. Gun Dealio delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get Gun Dealio. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with Gun Dealio. GunDealio.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Want to customize the look of your firearm and give it ultimate durability? Well, don't paint it, Cerakote it. Cerakote is a spray-on ceramic polymer coating that uses state-of-the-art technology to achieve superior abrasion resistance and corrosion protection. Field-proven and trusted by manufacturers and gun owners like you, Cerakote is the industry's unmatched performance leader. In lab testing and real-world applications, Cerakote outperforms the competition every time. See for yourself and find a local certified applicator near you at Cerakote.com. Choose the best. Choose Cerakote and finish strong.
We're having fun now. We're getting to talk about guns. Tim's going to join us out of Coos Bay, Oregon on 2. Hello, Tim. What you thinking?
Hello. I just wanted for people to realize what a political force these Facebook groups had ended up becoming. We had around the Coos Bay area and beyond around 5,000 people who all believed in the Second Amendment and who were like-minded. And we shared alerts from Oregon Firearms Federation and other things like that. I mean, we weren't overtly political, but I think we're instrumental in doing things like passing a Second Amendment preservation ordinance, reminding people to vote, getting people to register to vote, at least reminding them to. And then here we are 10 months before a very major, hotly contested election, and all of a sudden, all these groups are just shut down. So I wanted people to realize that.
Well, it was about 2 years ago, Tim, when I started talking about the ability to alter the results of an election through social media, but also through dirty tricks, which is what I call all of this, where if you change the algorithm ever so slightly on a Google search, and if you look up gun safety or gun control or gun rights, you get results that start to show the average person who doesn't know much about this that, well, gun safety means gun control, and gun control means gun safety, and that's the reasonable way to go. And Hillary Clinton is the reasonable common sense solution to this. And you have 1 million, 2 million, 10 million searches about that. You slightly change people's opinions. And elections are won and lost on 1% or 2%. So you don't have to change a lot. And if you start shutting down groups or people who have a platform on Twitter or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and you say, well, we just don't agree with your viewpoint. You have violated our terms of service. Because on page 47 at the bottom, you can see there's a line there that covers this. Those terms of service that nobody ever looks at. And the thing is, you don't even get to talk to anybody. You just get up in the morning, as happened to one big company, and their Facebook page is gone. They're doing all this business through this. They're selling optics, not guns, optics. But they had pictures of guns there, and their page is gone. Their business is gone because some 22-year-old at Facebook clicked on something and said, nope, that's a violation of our terms of service. Boom, we don't want gun stuff here. If this happens over and over again, the cumulative weight of it is it moves public opinion. It changes the results of elections. It is social engineering on a scale we've not seen before. That's not to say we haven't seen it before. William Randolph Hearst actually caused us to get into wars as a way to sell more newspapers. But in this case, it's sinister is the word that keeps coming to mind. It's something for us to be concerned with. Let's go to line 2, where Miles is with us out of Reno, Nevada. Hey, Miles, you got a range report for us?
Yes, for the LaRue MBT, that's meticulously built trigger, not main battle tank.
Okay.
I put together a 6.5 Grendel out of a bunch of spare parts I had lying around a little while ago, and all of a sudden LaRue had this really weird sale on triggers, and so I picked one up, and I got it in the mail a couple of days ago, and it's odd. It's made out of this S7 tool steel that just feels weirdly strong, like I could take a hammer or a hacksaw to it and it wouldn't even get a scratch. But in terms of the function of the trigger, the second stage breaks like frozen steel, and the first stage is smooth as a Bill Clinton apology.
Isn't it amazing what a good trigger can do for an AR?
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's a night and day thing. And whether it's the LaRue, and look, I appreciate the range report on the LaRue. Man, they build good stuff. Whether it's the LaRue or it's a Timney or it's somebody else, there are a lot of good triggers out there being made. Man, it's a game changer. And it's not just accuracy. It makes a rifle more fun to shoot. Because now it's going to sound weird, but I don't know any other way to say it. It goes off when you want it to go off. And you don't really understand that until you shoot one, because you're thinking your gun's going off when you want it to go off, but it's going off just slightly afterwards. And you also change the way you pull the trigger because it's not quite consistent. But when it's consistent, it doesn't have to be light. It just has to be good and consistent. Now it's always going off when you want to. So, yes, it's more accurate, but frankly, it's just a whole lot more fun to shoot. So, yes, triggers, spending money on triggers is always money well spent. Let's go talk with Ross. He's on 3 out of Mississippi. Hey, Ross.
Hey, Tom. Love the show. Listen every Sunday. We've got a new range that's opened up, Firearms Training Center, called Boondocks in Raymond, Mississippi. So for Christmas, my wife is new to shooting. I gave her a $200 day at the range with the well-armed women, and she went. She does that in March. She went yesterday. We paid $25 for a gun fitting. They took an hour and a half. She shot 7 different pistols and revolvers, settled on a 22 for the class, came home with her target, and was just wanting to put it up in the glass on the front door so people could see it.
Okay, Ross, I've got an assignment for you, okay? Here's your assignment. We need a range report from you and your wife after she takes this course, because I am fascinated that you gave her this class. She's going to take it. She's excited. So after she's taken the class, I need you to call back, preferably with your wife available to talk, and let's talk about this, because this can be a really big deal. This is huge. What a smart man. Rather than try to teach her himself, he hires professionals. Oh, that's a guy that knows about being married. All right, back with you. Line 1, Charles is with us, Coos Bay, Oregon. Charles, what rifle are you looking at here?
Well, I was curious over the amount of time that I've spent playing around with guns with my dad and going and shooting and stuff. I was starting to look into the AR platforms, and I noticed that 270 compared to let's say a 308, over 400 yards, they're almost exactly comparable. And I was, looking at possibly getting a 270 AR or 270 an AR made, but I was just curious what you thought about 270 as an AR.
Well, the issue there is the case length. The AR, obviously, AR-15 is made for the 223. AR-10 would handle a 308, but the 270 is a longer case. So what you really would like, I'm just going to guess, is you want something that gives you those 270 ballistics, but in an AR. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. I was really looking at it because 270 rounds are so accessible and usually are always on the shelf.
Yeah, but so is 308. And I got to tell you, an AR and 308 will do everything the 270 will, and then some more because of the great loads that we have for the 308s now. 270 is a great round, don't get me wrong, but it is not any better than a 308. And frankly, yeah, you can get an AR and 10 and 308. You know, one to look at is the 6.5 Creedmoor. A little bit less recoil. Okay. Use a 140 grain bullet and an AR. Great cartridge, very accurate, good bullets for long range. If I were looking for something like that, I would be looking for an AR in the 6.5 Creedmoor. Yes, you're not going to find ammo for it at every country store, but, hey, big deal. Take some ammo with you when you go.
Yeah, so it's probably pretty close to about a 6.8 special then, probably?
Yeah, actually, maybe even a little bit more, but they're all in that same ballpark, and they will absolutely get the job done for you. I wish you luck with it, but do not discount the 308. If you're looking for something that gives you a 270 at range, I would be looking at a 308, a 260 Remington, or the 6.5 Creedmoor. Look, I appreciate the call. Ray's with us online, too, out of Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, Ray.
Hey, Tom.
How can we help you? Yeah, I got you. Go for it.
All right, I was looking on some advice to become a better enabler.
Talk to me. What do you want to do?
Okay, a couple of things. First off, I got a sister-in-law who's expressed interest in getting a concealed carry license. She's already, has her weapon picked out and purchased, but for the past 3 months, hadn't been able to get her in the class. She's always got some reason she can't do it. Whether it's legitimate doesn't really matter. But been trying to do that. Like, hey, I'll pay for half of it to get you in this class. Just being the devil on her shoulder. And then you've got the other friends that ask the blanket question, what kind of gun should I get? And it's like, well, I'll tell you, but in 10 minutes, I know you're probably going to forget.
Yeah. Okay, I got an idea for your sister. Here's the deal. Talk to one of her girlfriends, get her to agree to do the class, have her pull your sister in. That, my friend, will work because, you know what? It's that old brother-sister thing. Yeah, he's my brother. Yeah. But if one of her buddies says, hey, let's go take this class together, there's a real good chance that's going to happen. It's all about figuring out who has the leverage. That's essentially the deal in sales. All right, if you have to leave us, we're going to be doing the after show in just a minute. You can get in on that. Call us at 866-TALK-GUN. In the meantime, go do some shooting. Introduce somebody to this sport. Remember that we are the ambassadors. We have to not just do it correctly, we have to appear to be the reasonable ones because we are the reasonable ones. Remember, check your six. Be safe out there.